I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on Spotlight, we're delving into the heartwarming and thought-provoking reflections of a wonderful author by the name of Morgan Scott Phenix. He's written a remarkable book. It is called Remind Me and Others. This beautiful collection of personal essays, stories, and poems captures the essence of cherishing moments, remembering the days, and honoring the years. Join us as we explore the legacies and common threads that weave the fabric of our lives. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today on Spotlight. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put him in the spotlight today. And we ask viewers like you to support authors like him by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing his remarkable book. The links are below this interview. Morgan, great to see you here today on Spotlight.
This is really a privilege, and I've enjoyed your introduction more than I can say. It puts me at rest, and I'm proud of this book, and I'm proud of the other two books that I've come out with. And but no, thank you so much for what you're doing. I appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. You should be proud of this book and the others because this is a remarkable book you have put together. Let's give the folks at home an overview of what Remind Me and Others is all about.
Remind Me and Others is a collection of essays and stories, and there's some poems in there even and some reactions to things in society, whatever. It's a whole range of editorial and heart yearnings coming from me, and I've collected them over a period of time, a couple of years, and that is in writing classes, and that's more part of my biography. But the places, I'm not a writer. There's so many of us out there that are not writers, but wish we were. But I have a collection of things that I have written, and I still claim that I'm not a writer. And I have actually 3 books to show for it. And this interview also might be an inspiration for folks to try a couple of different of ways of moving into becoming a writer, or at least to becoming a published writer.
Exactly. Well, for somebody who's not a writer, you're doing pretty good with 3 published books, and this one in particular is excellent. Is there a particular essay or story or poem in this book that holds a special meaning for you?
There's an essay and a poem, and I wish I had known that in advance so I'd have my hand on it, because the poem is from my heart. But also the title chapter in the book. And I encourage people, I said, when they buy the book, I said, and if you find yourself flagging a little bit in it, at least go to the title chapter. And if that bothers you a little bit, if it's moving a little bit too slow, move to the last paragraph. And I can read that here. Do you have time for that?
Well, I'd love to hear it. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, just the last paragraph of Remind Me of the title of this essay. And here's Remind Me on page 169. Because remind me, and it's in quotes, remind me the moments we shared, having walked some path together and parted ways for a time. The purpose of rekindling a blessing which we had set aside for a time. A gift which has remained steadfast despite the difficulty in bringing it clearly to mind. More on that later. Reminding me of so many gifts, some wrapped in rich velvet and some in softest fluff, precious moments between the years, gifts which never grow old and which never die. And that's my favorite paragraph in everything I've ever written. Well, no, that's not really the case. I don't know if I can find it in time, but there's a poem here that I would maybe at the end before we go, if at some point when the leader here is saying things, I don't know if
well, that was very, very beautiful, the passage you read, that's for sure. Was that written about someone, or?
No, it was. I think that I would have to say that in many authors' cases, we're writing about ourselves, either our histories, and one of the other books I wrote is a novel, and it's not about it. It really is where all these places I've been, and the same thing with these essays. They reflect an assignment from a professor, and more on that later, an assignment. I'm 78 years old, but I still go to classes at the college every now and then, and I've been at 13 or 14, 15 of these writing classes. And I'm telling you, I'm not a writer, but I've written an awful lot, and I enjoy it.
Well, that's great.
So
And it's
yeah, but
smart
there,
that you stay engaged by going to those college classes because it keeps you in touch with other
oh, absolutely,
generations. And that's important with keeping your mind sharp
absolutely,
and keeping your imagination vivid, right?
yeah,
You found that
excellent. I
other
appreciate
poem,
you
right?
saying that. Yes, I sure did. And this is a poem that is also from my heart. And it's very short. And it's also, and I apologize. It's a villandelle. If any of you are out there, poet masters, the villandelle is a 37 or 39 line poem with very strict repetitions of things in that establish. And this is the poem for my life. It really is. And the title is The Gate. Gate, the gate, and it's a villandelle. My blindness does not mean I cannot see. Your voice and confidence did estimate a shaded word, a pause, bright scenery. Your gift, surprise, our enchant me both bride and author, common fate. My blindness doesn't mean I cannot see. Your absence, though, the largest part of me. Your stories, print and told, did but relate a shaded word, a pause, bright scenery. Our faults confessed have nearly set us free. Our fears and dreams a new world did create. My blindness does not mean I cannot see. Your momentary choice to stay or flee, our chance this day before late, a shaded word, a pause, bright scenery. My door stands open, neither lock nor key. You hesitate, strong hand upon the gate. My blindness does not mean I cannot see. A shaded word, a pause, bright scenery. I don't know if that captures it enough for you.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I've lost the.
absolutely.
You
And
still have
when you
me in.
talk about your
All right.
blindness, what are you referring to?
Well, I guess when we don't know what to do next, or when the things we have done or have not been wise, or you've made some choices, and you name it, our lives are full of decisions, but blindness is that we don't quite see the truth of the matter, and we keep on going forward anyway. I guess that was the way I
Yeah.
would define that.
Very, very nice. Very, very beautiful. How do you hope
Thank you.
your collection of poems and stories and essays will impact those who read it?
Well, I think and I believe this is not just a matter of my own belief about what I've written, that these things are universal. So many things in the books are universal.
Mm,
It's not about what Morgan Phoenix did. Now you can
right.
read Elizabeth's story, and you can get a lot of things that I did, but then they're added. The producing and the value of the various things, or the foolishness of various things, or the hope that, oh, I wish somebody had chosen something else. But
Yeah.
I think that this book remind me, and then also the first one, which is even a big inspiration for people that want to be writers, who want to be published. But remind me is just full of the things that are the most the dearest to my heart,
Mm.
and yeah, experience.
Tell us about your other book that you've written.
Well, I've written three books. The first book is really quickly told. It's called A Life Worth Living, a story worth telling. I hate the title, but then again, it's my first published book besides my dissertation, and it's got my daughter did the cover. It's a beautiful cover, and it's a collection of essays and stories and poems that I wrote at the community college where I was the dean. I was, a real quick story. A
Sure.
professor wants the best English professor at the college comes into my office, says he wants to put on a memoir writing course, and I say nope, can't do it. We have to have at least 12, 13 students, 14 students to put it on. Can't put it on. They can't transfer the credits, blah, 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 the whole thing. So to make a long story short, we had a bet that if it made enough students to run the course, money
Mm.
wise for the college, that then I would have to take the course. 19 courses later, 19 courses later.
That's wonderful.
This is from the first 4 or 5 courses. This is from the last couple. But I'm not a writer, but I have written this stuff, and I'm proud of it. And it touches these are essays that touch my heart about the very, very complex gift of life, period, and of heart, and of what we take to be most important. I think that's what this is all about. And I reminded myself, yeah, a teacher, a professor at the college who was retiring, and she has since passed on. She's in a wheelchair. She was wheelchair bound. She gave me the very small little hourglass thing here with blood red crystals, and that's the great line in the poem. Blood red crystals in the essay, rather, concerning Remind Me. The blood red crystals falling through there is the life within us. And Laurie Alphonse has since passed on. And she was and wheelchair bound when I retired from the college. And so she was there for those years. But I kept taking classes. I kept on writing stuff that's close to my heart. And I don't think it's just about me. I think it's much of it is universal concern about loneliness and about wishing and about doing stupid things and whatever. So, yeah.
Absolutely. I think it's about a shared experience. I think there are commonalities that all people have, emotions and fears and dreams and hopes. And I think that's really expressed so beautifully in your book. The name of the book is Remind Me and Others. It is a gorgeous collection of personal essays, stories, and poems that capture the essence of cherishing moments, remembering the days, and honoring the years. It is a book you will savor. You'll like to read it time and time again. Thank you so much for joining us here today, Morgan.
Very good. Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
Did you want to add something else? I felt like I cut you off there. Were you going to say something?
Real quickly. The first book, A Life Worth Living, A Story Worth Telling, the same thing sort of as the last book. And the middle book here, Elizabeth's Story. This is a novel. This is a fantastic novel. I took the photo for the front. My daughter made this is about self-publication. This book is about self-publication. Anybody can publish what they've written. And this is a book that I wanted to write all along. And I put it in somebody else's name. It's another gender for me, even a woman, Elizabeth, and how she traveled the world, how she failed, how she overcame, and so on. So I want to say these are I'm proud of these. These are my proud. I have a doctorate. Yeah. This is 3 times the worth. This is fantastic for
wonderful.
Me.
Well, you should be proud. You should be proud.
And it's an encouragement to others. Encouragement.
Absolutely, absolutely. Morgan, thank you so much for being our guest today.
This is my real pleasure. Thank you, Zane. I appreciate it very much.
I appreciate your time. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time on Spotlight.